Hello everybody, thank you for coming back to my channel. This is going to be a continuation of our episode from last week where we've gone over the first section of gym leaders in the Pokemon series. This also includes trial captains and gym leader-like characters. So, let's get started. Alrighty, so we covered Kanto through the Unova games last episode, so if you want to go ahead and figure out why I placed them this way, go ahead and check out the video somewhere up there. And yeah, let's go ahead and continue on with the Kalos region. This is not going to include ZA, because they don't have actual icons or photos for them just yet, so sadly, isn't going to work. We got Violet, and I actually like Violet. I think I like her better than... right there. I like that her hair kind of resembles antennas. She's a bug type specialist. I really like Vivillon, her actual partner Pokemon. I just think that that's a very cool Pokemon overall, and I think it's very underutilized. Next we have Grant. I enjoy his design a lot. I'll put him here. I think we don't have many rock climbing rock type specialists anywhere, and he's just overall kind of a cool guy. I don't know where I saw this, but he and Violet. Is it Viola? I may have just said her name wrong. Honestly, if that's how I feel about her, where I don't even know her name, I'm a bump her down because, yeah, I'm a bumper. Not that low. I'll bump her down to right here next to Berg. That's awkward. But yeah, Grant has two different fossil Pokemon that are same level. I just think that that's very, very cool, very neat. We got Corina, who is a roller skating genius, obviously. I'm gonna put her above Charon. Not above Lenora though, but above Charon. I think that her character design is very interesting. The fact that she becomes a Mega Lore Keeper, or whatever it's called, like a Mega Stone Keeper, and she's appearing in the Mega Dimensions DLC. At the time of recording this, I haven't seen her in there yet, but I heard that it's going to be pretty cool. Ramos, very underwhelming. We know next to nothing about him. He's just kind of there. I think that his partner Pokemon is a Go-Go, which is kind of interesting, but that's really all I know about him. So overall, just not very impactful, but he's fine. Clement. I need answers. Where is this guy? His entire gym, the Prism Tower, got destroyed in Pokemon Legends EA. Where is he? What is he doing? Is he safe? Does he need help? We don't know. I just need answers. Where is my guy? Valerie. I'm gonna put her there. I like her a lot. I like her design. I like the backstory that she's from the Johto region initially. I don't know if you guys have watched my Mistaken Identity Pokemon Theory video about her, but there's a theory, not necessarily mine, but there's a theory that she's Bill, the Pokemon system admin's younger sister. So, I just think it's super interesting. Watch that if you haven't. And yeah, I just think that her overall vibe is just very neat. Olympia is going to go bottom of good. I think her having a Meowstic and a Slowking are pretty cool. Slowking is a Pokemon that really does not get used much ever. So I think that I'm going to give her props for that, because I'm not going to put her in bad. And then her cape is really cool. It's like a galaxy. So, maybe I'll bump her up to, I'll bump her up to there. I like her. I like her more than some others. Wolfric, bad. 8th gym leader should Mega Evolve his Abomasnow. Doesn't. His Avalugg is rough, but when I say rough, not good. It's not good, not bad for the player because it's an easy win, but overall, yeah, just not a very good Pokemon trainer. Sorry, guy. Moving on to the Alola region now. These are going to be Trial Captains and Kahunas. So, Ilima, I really like this guy's design. I think the tanner skin with the lighter colored hair, very, very aesthetically pleasing. I'm probably going to bump him up to above Jasmine. The fact that he's got a Smeargle as partner Pokemon is pretty interesting, honestly, because there's a whole theory that he and Mina were initially switched, where she was the normal type and he was fairy type specialist, and that's only because of the way that they look, but he also has a Smeargle. So maybe they just switched the characters without actually switching the internal stuff for it. But yeah, either way, I really like Ilima. He's pretty cool. Hala. I like him. He's a goofy grandpa, and we all need that every now and again. He's very Kahuna on the way to the Laguna, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't think that his battle was extremely difficult, because they give you enough Pokemon to combat him throughout the entire game. I'm probably gonna have to make this smaller again. But yeah, just overall, he was fine. He's not any of my favorite gym leader. I'll say that. Lana can go to the bottom of, you can go here above Grant. I think overall, Lana was a very interesting character based on her storytelling, because she's got younger siblings. Her totem Pokemon changes, and that kind of gives some lore to her as a whole, because I think that she adopts the Araquanid as like her partner Pokemon. I don't think that they were really fair to the trial captains in the Alola games, because they didn't really give them full fleshed out teams. They only have teams of up to 3 Pokemon, and that's not fun. That's not cool. I also don't like that they make her and Mallow interchangeable in the post games because of the version exclusiveness of it. That's only in the Ultra games though, so yeah. Overall, not a bad character. I still think she should have had a Kyogre. Just saying. Kiawe. I like Kiawe. I think his Alola Marowak is very great for storytelling. I think that them giving the fire dancing Pokemon to a fire dancer is really, really cool. His design is pretty cool. He's hot-headed. He's got his design is just very aesthetically pleasing overall. So yeah, I'm gonna put him up there. Next we got Mallow. I'll put her at top of good. Overall, not super detailed, I guess. I mean, it's cool that she's a cook. That's like her entire thing. But then her her Sarina doesn't really have anything to do with that. You know, like I feel like if you're gonna make like just think what I just said about Alola Marowak and Kiawe. Like I don't think that they really did much to kind of back that whole thing. I mean, I could kind of understand like maybe it's a berry Pokemon, so maybe she could use its berries to cook, but just overall, not super interesting to me personally. Next we have Olivia, and I like her better than yeah, I'll leave her there. I think I like her better than Hala. She's pretty interesting with the teams that she uses because one, Midnight Form Lycanroc, the best Lycanroc, top tier, my favorite, done. Do not pass go, do not continue. But yeah, overall, very interesting. I like that she's very gemstone oriented. I think that she and a Diancie would get along swimmingly, but that's just me. Next, we got Sophocles. Sophocles is not uber interesting to me. I'll put him above Lana, but he's just kind of there. I think the only interesting thing about him is that he does have a full set of Pokemon because he can be a part of the title defense system. The other trial captains really aren't. And I just think that he's very unique in that aspect. His signature Pokemon's Alolan Golem, which is pretty cool. I don't think any Pokemon trainers ever used Golem as a signature Pokemon, so that's pretty rad, pretty unique. Next we got Molayne, who obviously is going to go up in the great tier because his name starts with or has Lane in it. And I mean, hey, we look alike. No, we don't. I wish I had as much Riz as this guy, let's be honest. Overall, I think that I'll put him right over Sophocles. They're cousins. That's pretty cool for the lore. Molayne is actually the system admin for the storage system in the Alola region, and he's also in the Ultra games. He is a Elite Four member, and I think it's cool that he's a Steel type. His cousin's an Electric type. I feel like those two types are pretty hand in hand with a lot of different things, with Magnemite, the entire line, and all that. Acerola is pretty interesting. Overall, I'm gonna put her above Lenora. She's cool because you get a feeling that she's not alive. And that's because she talks about being royalty in the Alola region. And that could just be something like she's talking about with her lineage, but you kind of get the vibe that it's not. Like you kind of get the feeling that she's a ghost throughout the game. And I'm not mad about it. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think that they would give the position of Elite Four member to a ghost though. I don't know. I really like Nanu. He reminds me of just like this guy who's done with life. And you know, we're all there every now and again. So, but no, I like the fact that he's got the room full of Meowths. I think that he's just a cool guy. I like the red eyes. I like the fact that he lives near Po Town so that he can keep an eye on Team Skull. He was an international police member. Pretty dope. Pretty cool. Next we got Mina. Mina's kind of lackluster to me. I think I'll put her there above Mullane. I think her character design is pretty cool. The fact that in the post game of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon during her trial, you have to put the flower together with by battling all the gym leaders. It's pretty interesting, pretty cool. But overall, she's just not super interesting. I will say I like that they added her into the Let's Go games, where she is de-aged a lot, because that definitely makes the timeline way more fun to think about, which it already wasn't difficult enough, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna bump these guys down, and then I'm gonna bump some other guys down just so we can have a bit more space in our tiers. What's bad about this is that I don't dislike any of these gym leaders. I think that they all have their perks. It's just, now we got Hapu. I love Hapu. She is a cowgirl through and through. I'm gonna put her in great. I love the fact that she's got a Mudsdale. Her having a Mudsdale really made me want to have a Mudsdale in my Ultra Games playthrough. I named it Clip Clop. Clip Clop was around the entire game, so you know, we're just tight like that. So yeah, I really like Hapu. Ryuki, he's cool. He is really cool. I like Ryuki a lot. I think that he's the character that we need more lore about from these games out of everybody in the Alola games. Him and Acerola, I definitely think we need more lore about. But yeah, he's a badass Pokemon rock star. He needs his own game. He needs his own sequel. Legends of Alola will feature Ryuki. His Pokemon is the Jangmo-O line, Hakamo'o. I think it was Jangmo-O. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, overall, I love him. I love his design. He's pretty cool. I wonder if there's like this thing with all of the dragon type specialists to where they're all like a part of this group. Because I think Hassel in the Paldea games mentioned that. So I'm gonna look into it. Next we got Milo. Milo's just a chill guy, you know, he's just a chill farmer. He's along for the ride. He's just living his best life. Yeah, I like Milo. He's very interesting. Nessa's very cool. I love the fact that she gets so competitive, and I feel like she's definitely fighting against some stereotypes being a model, and them assuming that she can't be a good battler. I don't know if those are just undertones I picked up out of nowhere or what, but I definitely feel like she gets a lot of love from the community, the Pokemon community, but hate in game, just because they're like, oh, you're too pretty, you can't be a battler. And then I feel like that kind of drives her to be so hard on herself, if I'm being honest, and it's just relatable, you know, so like that. Next we got Kabu. I like Kabu, not as much as I like Nanu, but Kabu is really cool because there's the theory, like I mentioned, with Valerie being his granddaughter, and him being the retired gym leader of Lava Ridge Town and moving to the Galar region. So I like the lore of that. Ooh. But overall, his battle wasn't extremely difficult. I feel like people in the game say that he's the turning point of the Galar challenge, and I just don't think it was that hard. Next we got B, and she's good. I'll put her above Lana. I don't think that she has enough personality to be a gym leader, and I definitely think that they doubled down and gave that personality to Alistair, who's going to go up and amazing. But B's just not a great character. I think that they definitely could have done more for her. I think that they did do a lot more for her in the Evolution series, but just overall, not super character-y. And she also uses a Machamp, which is kind of just copying and pasting of Bruno. Alistair does the same thing with Gengar, and that's a copying and pasting of, honestly, I'm gonna bump my boy Alistair up to there. But he's copying and pasting Morty, he's copying and pasting Agatha, and almost every ghost type gym leader will use a Gengar, so it's not hard to copy that. But overall, just not the best, not the peak. But I do love his design. I love the fact that he's a very shy kid, but then he goes out there and he battles in these large stadiums. I like the design of his face, his eyes, how they're so creepy behind the mask. It's very cool. I like him a lot. Next we got Opal, the witchy character, who I will put here. I think it's cool that she quizzes you to see if you would be eligible to take her place. Her Mega Alchemy is pretty cool too, not gonna lie. I like her team's pretty cool with the wheezing, and yeah, overall just very, very cool character. I like her a lot. Next we got Gordy, bad. I think I don't like the cockiness of this guy. I don't think that he's nearly as good as he thinks he is, and I don't like his design. So overall, he's fine. His mother though, Melanie, I'll go ahead and put up into the great tier. I'll put her top of good. I'll give some respect, I guess, to her son by not placing her super high. But overall, she's an interesting character. I like her design. I like the colors. I like the fact that she likes to baby her son. Like, it's just, she's pretty funny character. Next, we got Pierce. Pierce is gonna go right on up to here. I like him better than Elsa. No, I'll put him directly under Alistair. Pierce is very cool because we got another rocker like Ryuki. They should collab sometime, personally, just in my opinion. But yeah, I like Pierce a lot. I think his design's pretty cool. That he's the only character that does not G-Max, or only gym leader that does not G-Max or Dynamax his Pokemon, is very cool because that his team actually puts up a pretty good fight, even though you can't do that. So yeah, Pierce is pretty great. Raihan is gonna go above. Ooh, I'm gonna put Raihan over here. He does the same thing that Gordy does with being cocky, but better. I like the fact that his team, he's a dragon type master, but he does specifically weather setting stuff. It's pretty unique for a character having more of a thematical, having more of a theme to his team instead of just like a type. Pretty cool. I love his design. I love his cockiness. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Next we have Bede. Bede is fine. I don't care for him at all, honestly. I think he does the same thing Gordy does, but probably more cocky. I do think that he was definitely more of a challenge than Gordy during battles, so yeah, he's gonna go down in bad, but he's not horrible. Marnie was, if you watched my rival video, Marnie was definitely pandering to a certain type of viewership, and that's not me. If you want to pander, give me more Mortys. If you want to pander, give me characters like Adaman. Or, I don't even know, Marlin. But overall, I don't care for her. So, but I care for her more than I care for Clara and Avery, who are going to go down to the bottom. You know what you did, you two characters. You know what you did. I don't want to talk to you two. Now, Mustard and Peony, I'm going to leave because I don't think that they technically qualify. I would count them more as champion characters. Alrighty, so now we are back with the, I'm gonna scoot this down just a little bit. We have May, or is it Mai? I like Mai. I think her design is really cool. I like the fact that Marley, her descendant, is actually the stat trainer that is in charge of speed, and she has a Munchlax as her partner, one of the slowest Pokemon. I just think it's poetic, it's funny, and I enjoy it. I like her hair clip. It's for the Hisui and Zoroark line. So yeah, overall, I like them. Leon. I like Leon enough. I'll put him here. I think it's really interesting that they gave... Oh my. I think it's interesting that they gave Clay a descendant who's actually just a little guy. Like, he's a child. I just think that that's interesting. It's funny. I really like his design. I like his hair. I don't know if he's actually a child or not, but he is a warden. So, I mean, I would assume not. But yeah, overall, great design. I like that they paired him with a Hisui and Gudra for his partner Pokemon. Very creative, because that has nothing to do with his actual descendant. The only thing that really links them is their hat and hair. Yeah, the hairstyle. But yes, and then moving on to Arizu. This is a carbon copy of Mars, which there's a lot of potential lore with Mars. Like, so if you haven't, watch my Mistaken Identity Pokemon Theory series in regards to Mars. You could learn something. Next we have Caliba. Now Caliba is one of the only wardens that you actually don't battle at all, and I kind of respect her for it. You know, she's old. No, she's not old, she's older, and she's just over the games, you know? She's 102, I think, making her one of the oldest humans still alive at the time of the game that you're playing. Guaranteed she's still probably alive at the time of Diamond and Pearl, but, you know, we'll leave that up to fate. I'll put her right there. I love the fact that her partner is a Bidoof. No, a Bibarel, sorry, not Bidoof. I wish it was a Bidoof. It's just a big Bidoof, you know? This list is huge, so a lot of people. So, Iskin, he's good. I think that I more associate Iskin with the story with Paulina, and I like Paulina a lot more. I feel like you don't really get much lore from Iskin altogether, other than the fact that they have that Romeo-Juliet style relationship going on, and by the end of the game they're actually together. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Melly, horrible. Right in between these two, just to show how much disdain I have for Melly. Next we have Ingo, Golden Boy Ingo. which I didn't realize that I scrolled down, so let me just adjust that. Ingo can go all the way up right here between Wallace and Raihan, which is exactly where I want to be. But overall, Ingo, I love the character. I love the fact that he was brought back in time. I just love the lore behind Ingo altogether. So yeah, overall great character, amazing character. Next we have Sabi. I love Sabi. It's crazy how strong this little girl trainer is. I'll put her right there above Drayden. I think she's extremely talented, extremely strong. She doesn't have any Pokemon that link her to another character. However, it's super hinted at that she's related to Cheryl, the stat trainer for HP, but overall, like, Cheryl never owns a Rhyperior, Electivire, or Magmortar, so I don't know how true that is, but here we are. Next we have Garrick. Based off a body alone, amazing. Right there, sure. Personality, I mean, he's out there shirtless in the Alabaster Iceland, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Adaman can go. I can't even click him. Adaman's going bam, right there. Oh no, he's gonna beat Morty. Morty's a close second though. Adaman's just amazing. That whole, like, you can't see my eyebrow probably, but the whole like I'm just over your crap stuff, like the whole eyebrow raise. I just love him. I think he's great. I think he's the leader that they need. There's also some potential lore that he's actually related to Mai. I think that's more of like an adoptive situation though, but hey, I'm not mad about it. Irida is also great. I'm gonna put Irida top of great though. I like her. Every time I play through, I always pick Adaman to be my partner through the later parts of the games. So she's great. They serve the same purpose pretty much. I do like the fact that she has a Glaceon. I love Glaceon. That's probably my favorite evolution. But yeah, overall, she's there. Entering the Paldea region now, we have Katie. She's an interesting character. I like the fact that they made her a baker, because that seems to not have any relation whatsoever to actual bugs. I'm assuming it's because of the whole, like, honey bear. Bears like honey. Her partner's Teddy Ursa, evolves into Ursaring. Should have been Ursaluna, but hey, I'm not picky. Brassius. I like Brassius. I'll put him after Lenora. I don't know. He's got this, like, whole, like, and this isn't anything, so don't go looking into this, but he's got this whole, like, dominant trait about him with the whip and with the art and everything, and it's just interesting because I don't think Pokemon's ever gone that way before. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but overall he's cool. I like that they finally made Sudowoodo a Pokemon that can be a grass type. Okay, so I bumped all of the remaining trainers up into that horrible tier just so I can have somewhere to go off of. That way I don't have to keep scrolling down. But Iono, I'll put maybe mid great. I just think that I don't like the whole, like, I feel like if she was real, she would talk with a baby voice. The who's the what's it and all of that. Like, I don't know. Not my cup of tea. I do enjoy the fact that her partner is Miss Magius, though, Miss Magius, and it has the ability to levitate, so when she terastalizes it, it becomes a Pokemon with no weaknesses. It's too meta for a gym leader, for the third gym leader, especially in that game, so yeah. Kofu. I'm actually going to leave you in horrible. I don't care for the design. I feel like he's got too many pockets, if I'm being totally honest, which, I mean, he's a chef, so I mean, maybe, but I don't think he needs that many pockets, personally. We got my boy, Larry. Larry is the definition of the working man. Works to live, lives to work. He's got 2 jobs, gym leader, 3 jobs, businessman, gym leader, and Elite Four member. He's putting in the work, probably not getting underpaid. I love the fact that he's a 2-type specialist, with him being normal type specialist for the gym leader and a flying type specialist in the Elite Four. Pretty cool. So yeah, he's gonna go up in amazing. Next we have Rhyme, the VIP of RIP, or the MVP, I don't remember. She's gonna go mid. I'll put her right here. I don't know, I feel like giving a rapper ghost, like, the ghost typing, I don't think that the profession matches the job description, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if that's something I would have picked. I do like the fact that her hair mimics, like, what an actual bone looks like. That's pretty cool. So I might bump her up a little bit. I'll put her right here between Nessa and Hapu. Next, we have Tulip. I actually really like Tulip. I really, really like Tulip. I'll put her above Jasmine. I think that, I don't know, just her whole, like, demeanor is very cool. She's a businesswoman for a makeup company. I like the little, like, her dress is really pretty. The fact that her, like, the butterflies flap their wings, it would be more like, you know what I mean. But yeah, her makeup, her design, her everything is just really cool. I like the fact that they made Florges her signature Pokemon, and it terrestrializes into a psychic type. That's just interesting to me because it's not something I would have thought of personally. I feel like a lot of the other terrestrializations kind of make sense. Like with Katie, it's the bugbear. With Rhyme, Toxicity, I don't know. Death Metal? That one doesn't make a lot of sense either, but I need to look into the rationale behind that for sure. Lastly on our list, we have Grusha. And Grusha is gonna go maybe like right here. I don't know, I feel like the more that they get into Pokemon with gender neutrality, it's gonna be more gender affirming. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I like the idea that it's harder to tell with some of these characters anymore. It's very inclusive, and I think it's a good step for Pokemon to go forward with. But yeah, so here's my list, the total list.